You tell me when you started. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Cruising Fleet Tall Ship Mediterranean Cruise conversation. We're going to talk to you about what we've got planned for next May. I'm happy to introduce Gina Ruggiero, our travel coordinator. Gina has been on a Star Clipper a couple of times and is going again. So she's been on the Royal Clipper as well, twice. So she's experienced, and she's our travel agent and coordinator. So she really has the skinny on this trip. Gina.
Thanks, Brad. I not only have the skinny, I have the shirt, the Star Clipper shirt. Hi, everybody here and everybody at home. Thanks for joining us. This is exciting for me to be part of this trip. Thank you, Brad, and thank you for choosing Star Clippers. I am a full-service travel agent, have been for 27 years. My company is Where to World, located in Bankers Hill, right here in San Diego. I've been doing a lot of very unique trips for the past 25 years, and this one takes the cake because it is something off the beaten path, yet still really, really comfortable and enjoyable. So we love that. Without going into any more detail, we'll have a question and answer period afterwards, so you can feel free to ask any questions later. In the meantime, we're going to go through our slide presentation, and hopefully that'll give you a good overview of the experience. The flyer will be available, I think it's on the website, right?
Yes.
And it's also here on the table. And this is specific to the May 14th, 2022 Royal Clipper sailing with the Cruising Fleet. So without further delay, let's go ahead and go into the slideshow if we can. So as we said, well, Linda and Brad are booked. We have a few others that are already booked as well. And what we're doing is a Rome to Cannes. I call it the Riviera sailing. I think they do refer it to the Riviera sailing as well. It's aboard the Royal Clipper, and she is sailing starting in Rome and ending in Cannes, France. And if you want to go ahead. And so you can see that it starts in Civitavecchia. That is the proper pronunciation. I speak a little Italian. So she starts in Civitavecchia, Rome. It's about 30 minutes outside, well, closer to 45 minutes outside of Rome. On May 14th, 2022, and 7 nights later arrives in Cannes. And the prices, and we'll go through all of that. What's that? Is it okay? Okay. The prices and everything we'll go through. We're not going to go into great detail. This is really more just an overview on the experience and the itinerary. So we have many cabins still available. They're all going to be in the mid-range. The higher end cabins are already booked. The lower end cabins I don't recommend because they're inside. Why would you want a cabin without a window on something like this? So we'll go ahead on that. You can't see all the details on that because of the windows, but all the information is on the website. She's 227 passengers. She came in, I'll tell you what, this is a good screen to read a brief review from Cruise Critic, which I do trust. It's like a TripAdvisor, but this is strictly for cruises. Royal Clipper is ideal for people who aren't big on cruising, but adore sailing. Billed as the world's largest full-rig sailing ship, and yes, she is in the World Book of Records, Guinness World Book of Records. She has 5 masts, 42 sails. She was built in 2000, and it's modeled after the Prussian. The Prussian was, in its time, one of the fastest clipper ships in 1902, sailing around the world. It set sail in 1902, and then with the steam engines and everything else, it suffered its demise and also collision with a steamship, unfortunately. But basically, it is powered by wind. You may have heard of Wind Star. They are masted sailing vessels as well, but they are always have auxiliary engine power going. They're not solely wind powered. Royal Clipper is, they shut the engines off, and when they do, you know it. And it gives you goosebumps, to be honest with you. It's pretty amazing. The cons about this sailing is it doesn't have any casinos. I guess you could do that in Monaco when you go to France, but and it doesn't have a big entertainment venue. We have a tropical bar upstairs, and it's local entertainment. It's usually somebody, you know, from one of the ports of call that come in and do a little show. It's pretty small and it's intimate, and it's really fun, actually. It's a good choice for adults seeking the ambience of an old-fashioned sailing vessel. It sails, and this one, of course, is the Western Mediterranean. And Michael Kraft is the gentleman who built the sailing ship, and he's an interesting story. If you get a chance, you can read more about him. This Star Clipper's cruise line has a total of 3 ships, okay? Star Flyer, Star Clipper, and then the Royal Clipper. Star Flyer and Star Clipper came out in 1992. They're sister ships, and then Royal Clipper came out in 2000. Royal Clipper is the bigger one out of the 3, and the most popular one, as you can imagine. So 442 foot. It has a 3-tier. We'll go through the slides and we'll go through some of the amenities and the features that make this ship pretty special. So go on to the next one. So for instance, the Clipper dining room is a 3-tiered dining room. It's really fun to walk down into the dining room. You can see on the left-hand side. That skylight, just so you can see it, is the bottom of the pool on the top photo. So you don't want to go skinny dipping. So you know, it's pretty important to point out right away. Anyway, you can actually see people swimming from the dining room in the pool, but usually all the people are in the dining room when it's dinner time. We have a fantastic spa on board as well. I've done some spa treatments here, and I've done a lot of spas around the world, and it is a world-class facility for sure. And then the Tropical Lounge is a great area. They have a piano bar, and it's really fun. You can take requests. It's very intimate, and you feel like you're on a private sailing vessel. And of course, it is all authentic rigging. And we can go to the next one too. So this is the dining room, which is the centerpiece of the ship, especially for Royal Clipper. It's all open seating, so you're not going to get an assigned seat, all right? They are masters at pairing people with other people. Like you're going to have the typical guest clientele or profile are going to be Western Europeans and US, and depending on the itinerary, Australians. So you'll have announcements in both German or French and English, depending on who is on board. And they're not going to sit you with an all French speaking table. They're not going to sit you with an all German speaking table. And most of the time for groups such as a private group like this, you'll have your own private dining area. You do that. And I suggest it because it just, you talk about the events of the day and you share. It's a great time. It's plated. It's not a buffet at dinner, it's menu. So you have a menu. The alcohol is additional on all of the meals, but it's like 4 courses. It's incredible. You can get 2 of something if you want, 2 plated dinners if you want. It's great. The staff is incredible too. They remember everything about you, so be careful what you tell them. Go to the next one. The Tropical Lounge, this is the inside of the Tropical Lounge. This is by the piano bar, and it's a real intimate place. In the mornings, if you don't want to go into the dining room for a full-on big breakfast, they always have a continental breakfast. They have all day long, they have fruit, juices, snacks, all day long, as much as you want. You don't go hungry. That's where it is definitely similar to other cruise lines. They don't let you go hungry. It's a great spot. The library I love, and this is where we'll probably do a private reception for our group. And we'll get the captain to come in and say a few words too. It's very intimate. It's where you can go any time of day, just to sit down, relax, read, and just chill. And also, here they have a faux fireplace even, interestingly enough. But it's a great spot. And then our stateroom, this is actually the categories that are available, okay? So category 2, 3, and 4 are all the same size and the same furnishings, okay? When you see category 2 superior outside stateroom, mainly it's because of the location on the ship. And so we'll go ahead through the deck plans and you can see that online too. They are 145 square feet and really cleverly appointed where you've got a lot of under the bed storage. That's where your life jackets and things like that are. You've got marble bathrooms. The showers are great. They have little clotheslines to hang your bathing suits and things like that. They thought of a lot of details. There's safes inside your closet. There's hangers. There's robes. So it is a fully appointed stateroom. They have turn down service every night. So that's awesome too when you come in, and maybe they'll do a folded towel animal. If you've been on other cruises, you'll see that. But it's really special. And it is not big, but is very, very comfortable. All the staterooms, or almost all the staterooms, have 2 twin beds that convert to 1 large double, or it's more close to a king. It's between a king and a queen. There are some cabins on the deck plan that have a D on them. Those are what we call fixed doubles. Those cannot be separated, so we want to make sure. The other thing is some cabins do accommodate a 3rd person if you want to bring a 3rd person, and that is a berth that folds out from the wall. If you're in one of those, you won't even know the 3rd berth is there because it does fold up pretty well. And you know, you'll have water in the room and things like that. It is really nice. And they're all portholes. They're not picture windows. They're not balconies. This is a sailing vessel. If you're on the lower deck, on the Commodore deck, you may, if we've got some waves, you might see the waves in your porthole, which is kind of fun. None of them are underwater, okay? I just want to make sure you know that. We'll go ahead. The itinerary on this is fantastic. And this is Bonifacio in Capri and Sardinia. It's going to, we've got some great shore excursions. They're not in the catalog that we have here, but they are online. And you're going to look for the May 1st, 2021 shore excursion, okay? It didn't operate, but that's the identical itinerary that we're doing here, okay? The thing that's unique about Star Clippers is she doesn't pull into a dock, okay? So she goes to some small, intimate ports, which is awesome. And you get to these really, really neat small towns and get immersion into some local culture and some very secret hideaway fishing and swimming areas as well. And this itinerary is Corsica, Sardinia. Doesn't talk much about Portofino and Santa Margherita, but I have to tell you that's my favorite. And you can ask me anything about that. Another thing I want to point out with Brad and I haven't spoken much about this is I also arrange private shore excursions for the group. So chances are at least one port of call is going to be just a private shore excursion for your group, and we'll put that together. It's very, very simple. You don't sign up in advance. Like other cruise lines, you sign up in advance on your portal. They don't do that. They have a clipboard on the cruise where you just go and sign up and put your name and pen. on the clipboard that you want to do a particular, and then they'll go ahead and put it on your cabin account, your stateroom account. It's that simple. You want to go off of you decided on something else, you go up and you just draw a line through your name. It's like, it's kind of cool. I like it. It's really simple and works very efficiently. Go ahead on the next one too. Calvi, Corsica, short excursions by motor coach, walk, hike, bike. You do not have to do a short excursion. You can always just go on your own into town, into the port. Some ports, or maybe at least one port, will be just a beach destination. And it might be just a half day and then later on. And there's always a tender that goes between the ship and the port of call, okay? So you can go on through there. And then of course, you're going to get into some pretty exciting Monaco and Cannes, and you could do full day excursions as well in Nice, as well as Grasse, and probably in the lavender season this time, now that I'm thinking about it. I'm not sure. Anyway, poppy season will be there. It's brilliant. And then of course, fantastic cultural sites. Go on from there. And then it ends in Cannes. From Cannes, where you disembark, usually by 10 a.m., chances are if you're not going anywhere else in France at the end, you're going to fly out of Nice. Okay, and that's going to be, I think it's about an hour and a half away. So you don't want to book any, and this is where I come in handy. I'm a full service agent. You need help with flights, even if you want me to just look at something that you book with your miles, that's what I'm here for. I do pre and post stays, tours, private tour guides, car rentals if you want to go ahead and get a car, and drive the French Riviera and the coast. So here in the motor coach, Brad's put some of more of the shore excursions, and then the Napoleon birthplace, Zodiac speedboats, ferry rides, kayak. We'll talk a little bit about the water sports on board this vessel. We have a picture of the deck, the water sports platform?
Yeah.
I think we do. Okay, great. Because that's amazing. It's amazing. So the transfer is there we go. The transfer to Nice from Cannes, they're showing is 3.5 hours. So it's really high traffic. So we just want to make sure that you're aware of that. Or you can go out to Marseille, or you can take the train and go up to Paris for a little while if you want. Lots of options. Here's the Marina Platform. This is a blast. Here you have kayaks, you have the little Zodiacs that we don't get to drive the Zodiacs, I asked. But they go and catch us if we, go astray and pull us back in. I can say that from experience. They have the floaties. They have this long rope with buoys where you can just float. You can take the rope out if the water's a little rough. Sometimes it could be you just go along the rope and then lay on a float out there. It's fantastic. They also have the little laser sailboats. So that was fun. And those are available as well. And windsurfing and paddleboard, stand-up paddleboard. And you can just go down and sign up for them. Very, very simple process. And the water sports crew are outstanding. Very, very fun. And here's a little bit more about it. The snorkeling, kayaking, paddleboarding, water skiing, sailing. That's those little laser sail. I don't know what they call them, but they're tippy. And then up on deck, and what do we do on board is we hang out a lot on deck. The bridge is open. The crew, the instruments, everything that they're doing, the captain, it's open. You want to take the helm? You can take the helm. This is the aft helm. They've got an aft helm and a forward helm. But that's what blew me away. You can go into the bridge room anytime. I'm like, are you sure you want to let people in here? And they're like, yeah, it's okay. It's okay. Nobody leaves it unattended. So it's really fun. And it is one of everybody's favorite photo opportunity. Mine too. It's my profile on my Instagram. It's me at the helm. So some of the other things, they have opportunities to help hoist the sails. I don't want to be a killjoy or spoil it for you, but it's all power winches on this, but you can go ahead and they can turn off the power and let the guests go ahead and hoist the sails. And that's again a photo op, and it's really fun. They repair the sails up on deck while we're sailing. You know, that was another thing I didn't expect. It's really cool to watch them repair any sails. You can actually climb up to the crow's nest. They do that, and that is a scheduled event, and that sells out quickly. Again, really fun. I think it goes up to about 75 feet. It doesn't go all the way to the top. And then you can't see it on the slide because of the, but the bowsprit, and I should have put more pictures of that, but we've got some great ones on the website. The bowsprit, what do you call that? The fishnet? It's awesome. It's a giant hammock. You go out there, you leave your shoes, you leave your camera, you leave your cell phone and everything on deck, but you walk out there and it's amazing because you're way out over the water, and then you see the beautiful, I don't know what you call it, but the headdress in the front, and it's amazing. Yeah, it's great. And then of course open bridge. You can walk in there while they're doing this. It just still blows me away. The engine room, however, is a scheduled tour. So, I was going to say, ooh, I hope that's not mine. So yes, you can go in anytime, unless there's traffic, unless there's weather, then they will rope it off. And they just do put these kind little ropes out, just gently reminding you probably don't want to come into the bridge right now. But typically, you can go in and they're more than happy to talk to you. To go on. They do, of course, knot tying classes. I did it. It was fun. And we learned some new stuff. We even veteran sailors. I think it's fun. So, those are it's not, the big production type. They're just small, intimate. The ship, even when she's full, is not crowded. There's lots of elbow room. There's lots of on-deck lounge chairs. There's 3 pools. There's lots of public rooms, the libraries, the Neptune Lounge, the spa. There's a fitness center on board. You're not at sea a whole lot. You're in port on this itinerary a lot. So I'll be surprised if you get a chance to even enjoy all the spaces the ship has. And then everybody usually finds their own private little nook. There's actually, and just to let you know, people that have been on Star Clippers, has anybody been on Star Clippers here? Okay, at least 60% are repeat after their first sailing. This is why it sells out quickly, and they sell out from the top to the smaller. You can usually get an inside cabin because everybody wants the outside cabins. And mainly it's because it's like your own private yacht. It really is. Good transition there. The sunset, and I want to say one thing about at night when they hoist the sails and they're leaving and they're pulling up anchor. It is a really special time. I'm getting goosebumps thinking about it. They play this piece from 1492. It's a piece of music, a piece of classical music, and I don't know exact name of it, but they blare it through the speakers as they're hoisting the sails, and they put different colored lights on the sails, and we're all up on deck and we're having champagne, and we're just watching the show, and that's the show, and the music just it takes you away, literally and figuratively. It's pretty awesome. And what makes this an incredible experience is the crew. And they are awesome. They love being on that ship. And they love helping. And when they're not helping you, they're varnishing, they're cleaning, they're polishing the brass. I mean, it's just a nonstop job there for but you can see their ropes, everything. It is, it's a big operation. They're from all over the world. So the officers are typically from, Europe or Northern Europe. And a lot of the wait staff is from Asia area, I can tell you. The water sports, seems like they're from Sweden for some reason, young Swedish kids that are happy to be on board too. But you'll see it's a global community and they're awesome. And we'll go to the end on that one. And now we urge you to be part of the group. Again, my name is Gina Ruggiero. I'm your private group coordinator. So our U.S. headquarters for Star Clippers is based in Miami. I work closely with them. I'm sailing with them in August again. I've been working with them for years. I did the Royal Clipper round trip from Barbados in 2019 or 18. I did a round trip from Rome to Amalfi in Sicily in 2019. We had a couple of Phuket, Thailand sailings last March that unfortunately fell victim to the pandemic. So I've been working closely with the Miami team for years and years and years. And I've been working with a lot of tour operators and cruise lines. And I have to tell you that we have a rapport that is turned into a great friendship. And that comes in handy when you need help. And you want to get a cabin cleared or something, So I have an Arizona mobile number, but that's the best way to reach me. I am here in San Diego. I'm originally from Boston, and I was 14 years in Phoenix. And I've been here since 2017. And again, I've been doing travel since early 90s. I started in Boston in 1992. Seems crazy to think about it. But you can reach me anytime. Any questions? And with that, I'll open it up for questions. Shall we open it up for questions? Yeah.
Any idea what the temperature is like at that time of year and the water temperature?
So do we have any idea what the temperature is like and the water temperature? I can't give you an exact, but I can get back to you with it. But May is definitely an ideal time to travel, okay, in the Mediterranean in general. Because it's not overly hot and it's not cool at night. It's comfortable. So it's going to be similar to September. You're going to want layers. So at night at sea, you're going to want layers. The water temperature is always swimmable in the Mediterranean. It stays pretty warm. So that's comfortable as well. But I can get you the exacts and we'll put it on the website. You don't need wetsuits, in other words. Yeah, like here. It's warmer than here. Anybody else? Yes.
So with so many people on the boat, not that many, but can you always get, the deck that has all the, fun toys, and you get to sign up for it? Is it easy to get the windsurfer or paddleboard to sign up?
Yeah, so the question is, with so many people on board, or with a full ship, and the water sports deck has limited amount of equipment, do you have any trouble? So depends on the port of call. So the ideal places to swim, sail, snorkel, those get booked up quickly and you want to sign up first thing. Yes. They will assign you snorkel, fins, and mask day 1 or day 2. And you will keep those with you the entire sailing. You won't have to keep checking them out. So they're going to fit you and you'll keep those in your cabin with you. And so that you can go anytime into the water with that gear. Some of the stuff I found, the paddle boards do sell out quickly because those are pretty easy. Kayaks sell out. But yeah, you want to sign up early.
So are you under sail at night all the time, or is there are you at sea during the day anytime?
So the typical is in port during the day, sail at night. These are wind-based itineraries. This is why their itinerary is what it is to follow the wind patterns, obviously. And then you'll hear it kick in if we don't have any wind at night. You'll hear the engines kick in.
But you're always underway at night.
You're always underway at night. There's no overnight in port. Everything is in port during the day. I don't even think there's one day at sea on this itinerary, right? Because usually I'm doing the Athens to Venice and we've got one day at sea from Croatia to Venice. So this one, there's not one day at sea. So you're in port every day. Yeah, that's great. Anybody else? Yes?
So in the brochure, it mentions cancellations.
Mm-hmm.
So is a cancellation a refund or is it credit to be used later?
So your deposit is $400 per person to secure a stateroom. That is fully refundable up to, on this case, I think we put it on, it's like,
For 20 days?
huh?
So it's 120.
120 days, but I like to put a hard date because I shouldn't want to make people count days. So I think it's January 10th. I just made it simple. January 10th is refundable. If you cancel prior to January 10th, it is not a credit voucher. It is a refund to the form of payment you used for your deposit. And then final payment is due, I think, February 10th. I'm not sure if I have it on here and I don't have the dates in my head yet. But after January 10th, your deposit becomes non-refundable. If you cancel between January 10th and February 10th, then you will get a future cruise credit. So this is why the ships book up early, because they know they can get their money back. They're booking it.
Repeat that one more time as far as getting credit.
So if you deposit today,
Yep.
you have up until January 10th to get your deposit back as a cash credit refund, okay? If you cancel between January 10th and final payment of February 10th, your deposit is non-refundable and you would get a future cruise credit for your deposit if you cancel in that window between January 10th and February 10th. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
Question, the rates quoted, is that per cabin or per person?
The rates are always per person, okay? So the important thing to know on this sailing, and thank you for bringing that up, the question was, are the rates quoted per person or per cabin? The important thing to know, the special amenities, the group benefits we got on this because you're a group and we love groups. I mean, that's just, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. You get a complimentary, they have it as a $300 per cabin, but it's $150 per person, okay? It's a $150 per person onboard credit to use towards shore excursions, towards your alcohol or onboard tab, towards the gift shop if you want a cool shirt like mine, things like that. They have a really nice gift shop too. Also included on this cruising fleet group is gratuities. We've included the gratuities. So you don't have to do anything else once this cruise is paid for, literally. The shore excursions, you can go aboard, you can go in shore without any additional cost. The tenders back and forth are complimentary. So basically, so the pricing is per person, and the port charges are important. The port charges are $270 per person on top of that. Okay, on the far right on the flyer, if you see the flyer, the port charges are on the far right. And then most of the categories that we're going to be booking this group in are categories 2, 3, and 4. I've only sailed in category 4s and have been extremely comfortable. I've toured all the cabins, and I will go back in a category 4. You know, it's comfortable. It's easy to get to. The ship is so small and intimate. It's easy to get around. Did you have a question, sir?
Follow up on the cancellation. What happens if COVID raises its ugly head again and the ship cancels because of whatever COVID is doing?
Boy, do I know the answer to this one by heart. Okay, if the ship cancels the sailing, you're refunded. Okay.
Not a credit again, it's a cash refund.
If the ship cancels the sailing, it's a refund. All right. It's taking a long time to get those, but hopefully we're past that.
We're hoping.
Yeah.
I just want to clarify that. Port charge is for couples 540 times 6 ports.
No, it's one time.
One
200, yeah, $270 for the entire cruise. Yeah, Ooh, that would be big. And that, people do that. I want to just elaborate on that. People come aboard just to stay on the ship. Their favorite sailings are like transatlantics, you know, the repositionings and things like that, days at sea, because it does feel like your own private yacht. But also I want to bring up the cancellation penalties. We urge, and right now they require for this year, trip cancellation and trip protection insurance for all their guests, okay? So I have options, and I have some information and collateral here, or just reach out to me and you will get information about it, whether you want it or not, when you inquire about a booking and book one. So we want to make sure.
So do you handle other than travel guard?
I handle, yeah, I don't actually use travel guards. Star Clippers uses travel guard. I have actually better values with Allianz Global Assistance.
So they have a program that's annual, I believe. So you buy, let's say, $10,000, you don't use any of it, you can use it on another trip within that year.
Right, exactly. So you can opt for the annual plans.
Travel guard, but this other program is a lot better.
So we have annual programs with Allianz as well. I have clients that travel a lot, and the annual plan is better for them value-wise, but without going into too much depth, because insurance is a whole nother presentation. Without going into, if this is your only trip, biggest trip for the year, don't get the annual, get the trip specific coverage. That way you have a start date and end date, you've got your emergency evacuations, and you don't run out of coverage, you have sufficient coverage. The annual plans only go up so high. You want $500,000 emergency evacuation if you're going on a ship. Trust me, people think that's crazy, but it's not. You need, if somebody has to get evacuated off a ship, if a helicopter comes out to take you off the ship for any reason, and you want your spouse to go with you, you better have $500,000. So these are just some of the things. It's just peace of mind. I will say that it is age-based. As you go up in age, the price of the policy goes up. I wish. And I will also say that those of you that are familiar with it, all prices have increased this year because of COVID. The Allianz does cover COVID-related cancellation penalties as well. So if you don't go because you developed COVID symptoms or something like that, or you developed COVID symptoms while on your trip, last year that wasn't covered because pandemics were excluded, they're covered now. So anyway, that's just another one of the benefits.
Well, what kind of, I assume that the ship or somebody's going to want proof of vaccination. Is that accurate?
Yes, absolutely. There's health requirements, entry requirements, there's protocols. Again, this is all unprecedented. This is new territory, and we ask for everybody's patience. I can tell you what it is for this year right now is whether you're vaccinated or not in Europe right now, is you still need to have a negative COVID test within 72 hours prior to boarding the ship, okay? The ship's health protocols, when I sailed with them in 2018 and 2019, were outstanding. They had temperature checks at the pier before they let you on, long before COVID. They had hand sanitizers. The maitre d' in his really nice tux is there with a hand sanitizer as you come into the dining room. They are very, very fastidious, very, very clean, and they are. And again, it's small, it's intimate, it's manageable. So.
So this is the San Diego Yacht Club and not the New York Yacht Club. So are we able to go dress casually, or is there a suit and tie and dinner?
Just the maitre d's in suit and tie.
No, are we?
Yeah, dress code is very, very casual. It's there is one night they do a pirate party sometimes, and you can dress up in your pirate. Another night they will do the captain's dinner. For dinner, they do not want you in t-shirts and shorts. Okay, I will say.
Long pants and button-down collar shirts.
They prefer no ties, but you can do capris. You know, Europeans, men don't wear capris here.
No.
Anyway, you'll see them on board. But I've never seen anybody get kicked out. I just want to say this is between us. Don't share this with anybody. I've never seen anybody removed from the dining room because they had shorts and a t-shirt on. But that's for the captain's dinner, really. There's one night where there's a captain joins him, you know, in the dining room for
They
dinner.
want jackets.
No jackets, no jackets. No, and everything is, you know, sneakers, flip-flops, shorts, t-shirts,
I have a
whatever.
lot of questions, so I should probably get to these, but one more. Is the reservation transferable? So for some reason or another, February comes, you pay up, it's May, we can't go. Can you give it away to a friend or something like that, and they take your spot?
So the question is once you book and then you're inside of penalties and you can't go, can you transfer the reservation to somebody else? I can tell you I can't hold it and try and resell it. I can tell you that I can't do. It would be, this is where my good rapport with the cruise line comes in handy. I have to go to superiors to ask that. So, you know, that is a special request that I'm pretty sure, especially if the ship is sold out, and chances are we may have a wait list, especially in this case, I can maybe 75% say, yes, you'll be able to transfer that. Okay. Okay.
You mean transfer to a friend or family, not just transfer to someone else on the wait list?
No, transfer it to somebody you're referring.
Our choice.
Yeah, exactly. So when you book, because that wait list is coming from Germany, it's coming from France, it's coming from New York, it's coming from anywhere. When you book, you're going to need to fill out a passenger information form, and some might have already seen this form. We're going to need your dates of birth. We're going to need your valid passports. Passports are going to need to be valid. I'm saying a year after sailing date, because I don't even want to get into the window of this 6 months after sailing date. Valid US passports. You have to be a valid US citizen to book through me. At least one person in the cabin has to be a US citizen to book through me. And then we have emergency contacts we're going to need. And they have a very simple portal on their website that says, you know, my cruise or my Star Clippers at the end. And you can fill that in, but I also need a record of that myself. So yeah, we're doing good. Yes, sir.
You may have covered this, but I don't pay attention very well.
Maybe we should talk after. No.
Are meals included or meals are separate?
All meals are included, as much as you can eat.
Not
Like it's
alcohol.
not alcohol. Alcohol is not included.
Diets, free alcohol.
Yeah. And then there's also, you know, I'll give you an example of what this cruise line is like that blew me away. I had a client that came on the cruise, and his wife said, do they have Budweiser on board? That's all my husband drinks. And I'm like, I don't think they have Budweiser. You know, their local beers are European beers usually, or Caribbean beers when they're in the Caribbean. So I wrote to Miami and I said, is there a chance we can get a 6-pack or 2 of Budweiser on board? And they put it in the champagne bucket with ice. So when he got on board, there were Budweisers. There was a 6-pack of Budweisers in his cabin. But wait, it gets better. When he comes down, because you have to have your picture taken, when he comes down to the bar later on that night, they take out a Budweiser. Can I offer you in a Budweiser, sir? And it blew him away because they stocked the bar with Budweiser. And that's the kind of service you get. But to go back to your meals, room service is not included, but you can grab a plate and take it to your room. And on that note, I also want to talk about the ship mobility. And you're going to have the lifeboat drills and all of that from night 1, but you're also going to be told, one hand for the ship and one hand for something else. So you never carry 2 things, ever. You can't carry 2 drinks. You can't carry a plate and a drink, ever. To get from doorway to doorway, you have to step up over the outer doors, just like a boat. It's a boat. And your cabin is a little more comfortable and get around. But the biggest thing is a gangway to get up on the ship. Sometimes can be steep depending on the tide. to get from the ship to the tender, depending on the seas, can be a little rough, all right? There are people with canes on board. That's allowed, but you can't carry anything in your cane. You have one of the staff or somebody carry a drink or a plate for you. And that's what the staff is there for. But to get, do you want to show a picture of the transfer, do you think?
Sure, if I
Anybody?
can find it here.
I know, because it is important. It is not recommended for limited mobility. It is a moving vessel, and although, there you go, there's one right there, wherever you are, right here. Can you see it okay? If we just click off of it. There we go. So just for example, don't go away because then I want you to scroll up. But this one is at, I think this is in Sorrento maybe or somewhere. But this is the tender. I think they hold like 40 people. But this is just getting from the dock to the tender. So they pull up just like we do here with the fenders and everything like that. There's no entryway or covered stairway to walk on. But if you could, I think, scroll up on here, I don't know. Can you keep going up, keep going up, keep going up?
Well, right there,
Yeah.
on the left-hand side.
That's the
Set of
stairway
stairs.
to the tropical bar. But they have hand grabs. But there's stairs everywhere. There's going to be stairs to get up to the deck. Here's the gangway, as you can see how steep it is. This is an example of getting on the ship at the dock. This is probably Civitavecchia, or it could be Cannes. When they are able to pull into the land. Here's an example on the left of getting down to the tender. So they've got docks on the ship that fold out, and the tender gets lowered from their hoists down, and they hold it. And then when you go up to the top one, you'll see exactly what we're talking about. The teams hold the ship, and if there's any kind of motion in water, they won't let you board until it's safe to do so. They're very well trained in this. They explain how to do it. You do the hand, you learn the hand hold like this when you're transferring from the ship on and off. You don't ever do this. They won't take your hand unless it's like this. And so they're really good at that. And this is the dining room. And you're going to come down these stairs and up these stairs to go. And it's also a great photo op to go to and from. Nobody's in a hurry. Nobody's in a hurry, and there's never a crowd. Okay, but just be advised that it is a sailing vessel, and it is definitely something to be aware of in that respect. Does anybody have any other questions? Yes.
Do you have any kind of feedback from people who have been on board in terms of seasickness?
So yes, the question is, do we have feedback from clients that have been on board, guests that have been on board regarding seasickness? If you're prone to seasickness, you probably get sick. We'll say that. I'm just going to say, you get your Dramamines, get your magnets, get your patches, they work excellently. They do work. So if you have any kind of sensitivity to motion sickness, just make sure that you bring your Dramamines or whatever works for you. There's a lot of remedies out there that are very effective. And I had one on our Rome to Cannes, a realtor from Nashville, and she was green the first night. And after that, she was the life of the party the next 7 nights. So she was so glad she got it out of her system. And she had her stuff, but she knew she was prone to it. And to her respect, our first night out was a little, busy on the waters. And so you'll know it. So.
In terms of stateroom selection, since we're traveling at night, is there a fair amount of engine room noise coming into the stateroom areas?
So the question is there any fair amount of engine noise coming into the staterooms when the engines are running? Depends on where you are on the ship. If you're on the lower deck aft, you're more likely to hear the engine. It'll rock you to sleep, like a, but you're more likely. If you're up on the clipper deck, more forward, you're less likely to notice any engine noise.
But after, is it can interfere with sleep? I think that's the question. And we
Is it-
all sleep differently, but, at a certain point, engine noise can be a problem.
Yeah, no, you can go on and read all of the TripAdvisor reports. It has never been a complaint. Can you notice it? Yeah, you know when the engines are on if you're on the lowest deck and you're aft. You know when they're on, you know when they're off. But did it interfere with anybody's sail? I've never seen that as a complaint. I also want to let you know that they schedule an engine room tour too, and that's really popular. It's pretty fun to go through the engine room. So, yeah, great. All right, do we have any other questions?
The last one, I promise.
He promises this is the last one.
That wasn't me. I think it's-
Yeah, that was a
So
building.
there are no category 1 or main cabins available.
On this particular sailing, let me just explain what has happened this past year. So there's only 3 ships. The Royal Clipper is the only one with balconies. All right, the deluxe staterooms. All of their 2020 sailings were canceled. Most of their 2021 sailings were canceled. They moved all of the people that got canceled to the future sailings. So you're probably not going to find a balcony on the Royal Clipper anytime soon because they're, reaccommodating all the people that were unable to go. That said, there is really good availability on this sailing. We can wait list, and it is based on a first come, first serve wait list. We do put a note in your reservation. I am in contact with the office on a regular basis, and they'll notify me if something opens up to go higher if you want. But right now we have some good options, category 2s, 3s available, as well as category 4s are very comfortable.
So how do we book? Do we book for you or do we just go online and book?
Me. If you want if you book through Miami, I can tell you this right now, Miami's going to call me. So you can do however you're comfortable with, but obviously you have access to Star Clippers anytime without me. But if it is anything to do with this particular group, I manage the guest list to make sure we have everything covered. Okay. Great.
Thank you, guys. Got one more?
Yeah.
I was gonna say, noticing the deck plans on the other ships, they have lowest deck staterooms out, but ours appears to not have any at all, so shouldn't be any noisy cabins on the ship.
On the Commodore deck aft, you'll notice a little bit of engine noise. I'll honestly say that.
There are no staterooms.
Oh, that's why I'm sorry. It's the spa. That's where the spa is.
Is that what it is?
Mm-hmm. I'm sorry about that. Exactly. Yeah, it's Neptune Lounge, the fitness center, and the Hamas Spa. Yeah. That's right. Sorry about that. Thank you. Okay, well, thank you very much. And my cards here, my numbers on the website. You have my email address. I'm available, obviously Monday through Friday, but obviously Saturdays, Sundays if anything's urgent. I am holding some cabins. We're holding like 6 or 7 cabins already for the sailing. So the sooner you book, the better. Again, it's risk-free. The only thing you have to risk is availability, losing an opportunity to get on board, period. This will sell out. And for example, my Amalfi sailing, I booked that 1.5 years in advance and it sold out 1 year in advance. Okay, so those things, these are, again, because the COVID, in addition to the high repeat factor of the guests that go on board. And once you've been a guest, you get a 3% discount on your future sailings too. So might as well throw that out there.
Thanks, Gina.
Yeah,
Linda,
thank you.
Great job.
Thank you. Okay. All right, thanks.
Thank you very much, Gina. We look forward to working with you, and if there are any other questions along the way, I'm sure there will be. Feel free to talk to Gina. Any concerns, any issues? Gina's the person.
Thank you for all of you at home too.
Are you taking deposits now?
Yes,
I'm sure she will.
I am taking deposits now, look at you. I love it. All right, we got another one here. What I'll do is, why don't I get together one of the.
I just want to be first on the list.
Okay. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'd like to be on an upgrade list.
Yes. Yeah, but you have to book, you have to book a regular
Exactly what I want.
account.
And they make them go away?
It's so funny too, because everybody is like wants to be in the cabin. I gotta tell you, when they bring up the tenders are right over your balcony. And that's what you know, you get a little shower on your balcony. It was funny when all the. Yeah, the cars
I spoke to you on the phone, and I'm Mimi Mortensen, but we are going to be going, we just heard yesterday, that's why I was helping out. Because our family reunion in Germany is June 2022. So, and my
We're
son
gonna
is.
shut this off here. I think we're still recording. No, that's fine.
Hey, Marty. Hi, Kristen.
Oh, look at, there you go. That's fine.
I don't know whether that's.
Are you all ready for the case?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Right
there you
here.
go. Bye.